Okay, so I don't have this deployed, but I can do a local demo. This is Strange Beasts Fight Night. It's a two-player game, and kind of how it works is one player creates a game, and then another can join in. Both players will have the chance to draw a strange beast, and that could be it could be a stick figure, it could be a more impressive illustration, whatever your skills and preferences prefer. Then you'll get a chance to configure your beast and set some ability scores and describe how they attack. And then once both players do that, they'll wait and get a blow by blow commentary of the battle between their two beasts to find out who wins. So this was built as part of the Web Dev Challenge Hackathon for Season 2, Episode 2. And the challenge, as part of the challenge, the durable execution platform from Temporal was to be used. So that's what this was built on. Um, I have a couple components, or four components to be exact. So the front end, which I'm going to start up here, we have the temporal server. I'm going to start here. And then I'm going to run just one temporal worker. Let's just make sure that starts up good. Yep, okay. And then the backend for front end server. This is what the front end UI actually communicates with, and then this server communicates with the temporal server. That's kind of how I have this set up. So if we navigate to where the temporal server exposes a UI, we can see that it's up and running. We have no workflows yet. And then in both of these tabs, I will open the front end. So if I click this get ready to rumble, it will queue up a workflow, which the worker will pick up on. And if we refresh here, we can now see we have one running workflow. And the workflow ID is this feeler thrash scream, and that matches the code here. We could go in and see what happened so far. When the workflow started, it started with an update. So this add player update was automatically run to add this uh, first player as player one. And now we can copy this link and we could paste it into this other tab. And we end up in the same room. We have the opportunity to join the game. When I click this, we'll see another update was sent with this add player information, adding this player as player two. And now it moves into the drawing phase. So you may want to skip forward on this. I'm going to spend some time and draw a little strange beast here. I'll create some kind of beholder type monster. Um, some crazy looking teeth, and maybe for funsies, we'll add another eye stalk here. And we'll say that, look at this illustration of like shooting some kind of heat rays from the eyeballs here. And then I'll just describe this monster as a giant demonic fleshy blob with a single eye in its center mass. Also has razor sharp teeth and a fleshy stalk protruding from the top with a smaller eye that shoots radiant heat. And then when I click save here, we'll see a signal get sent to start monster image generation. That kicks off an activity, this generate monster image activity. This is actually reaching out to OpenAI's image generation API and generating a doodle generating an image inspired by that doodle and the description. So I'll do the same thing here for player two. I'll try and keep it a little more simple here. Something super. This is wonderful. So we'll call this guy an earth golem that throws huge boulders. And we'll say an evil earth golem who is a skilled fighter, the ability to hurl a volley of giant boulders. And again, we'll click save. We'll see that a signal was sent that starts the monster generation image activity. And again, it's hitting OpenAI's API to do the image gen for this player's image. Once that happens, it moves into the monster configuration phase. And we'll just call this one player one's monster big red. And we'll say it's a demonic entity and it can bite. It can eye stalk slam and special ability shoots a radiant heat eye beam. So to that effect. There's no scoring system or ability score system built in here. I had the plan to do so, but technically you could set these to all sixes, but just for fun, we'll say he has a lot of power, he has a decent defense, and he's just a little bit slower. And then for player two's monster, Earth Elemental, Earth Golem, we'll call him Dirt McDirt, and we'll say he's a Earth Elemental, and he can Blood Punch, Dirt Kick, and Giant Boulder Volley is his special attack. And we'll say he has a lot of power, a decent defense, but is super slow. And we'll submit this. And now you can see that for both players, we had a signal come through for save monster config. Once both players have saved their monsters, it generates some mock battle data. It basically generates 5 rounds of random battle data based on their ability scores and some random chance. That mock battle data is then after that a activity kicks off, which generates battle commentary. This is reaching out to OpenAI's API to take that battle data and generate blow-by-blow commentary from it as if it was like a live boxing ringside announcer. That once that activity is finished, it kicks off another activity which uses OpenAI's text-to-speech API to take that commentary and actually generate audio from that blow-by-blow commentary. And we'll see that once the audio gets generated, which takes a bit, it's the kind of only downside to the way this is built out. But once it does, it kind of moves into the end game here, and you can see that here are the enhanced images from the doodles. And if we click play here, we could hear the blow-by-blow commentary.
Good evening, fight fans. The floodlights ignite the crater as 2 colossi face off. To our left looms Big Red, a demonic, fleshy juggernaut with a bloodshot cyclopean eye, jagged maw, and a writhing stalk, crowned with a secondary eye primed to unleash blistering heat. To our right stands Dirt McDirt, an earthen golem carved from living bedrock, fist-like boulders strapped to its arms, and a grid of cracked clay ready to batter its foe into the soil. Big Red lunges first, jaws snapping as its teeth rip into the golem's rocky torso, carving a shallow gouge that sprays clay chips across the pit. Dirt McDirt grunts and shakes off the blow, its stone hide now etched with brittle spider cracks. The Earth Giant then drives a mud punch into the demon's pulp. But jaws clamp down on empty air. By the end of that opening flurry, Big Red stands unscarred, while Dirt McDirt's clay shell bears fresh chips. Dirt McDirt surges next, its fist of compacted soil smashing into Big Red's flesh mass, rattling the Cyclops' core and leaving the demons staggering. Big Red retaliates in a flash. Its stalked eye flares and blasts a beam of radiant heat through the golem's shoulder, carving smoke trails and sending clay shards tumbling. When the dust clears, the demon oozes red rivulets from torn chunks of flesh, and the golem's armor is fractured, muddy slurry seeping from deep fissures. Big Red lashes its eye stalk in a sweeping arc, but contacts only loose dirt. Seizing the opening, Dirt McDirt hoists a volley of giant boulders, each stone embedding like a harpoon in the demon's core with a hollow crack. By now, the Cyclopean eye flickers like a sputtering torch, the demon's form trembling on the brink, while the Earth Golem remains only smeared in mud. Big Red strikes again, but the blow sails wide. In a final crescendo, Dirt McDirt hurls a supremely massive stone that plunges through the blob's central eye in a thunderous roar. The demonic mass quakes, then collapses into a steaming puddle, gore seeping into the cracked earth. Only the golem stands, battered but unbowed. As the dust settles, only one giant remains standing above the shattered soil and gore. Dirt McDirt stands triumphant, battered but unbeaten, the new sovereign of this savage arena. And look, its single eye trains on the commentary platform. I'm not sticking around to test its boulder sling. This is Dodge Duststorm Daniels, booking it out of here, signing off. Good evening, fight.
Oops, that's it. I'll drop a link to the repositories if anyone wants to take a look and see how this was built out.